Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of July 7th, and Venus is really taking the stage this week with a lot of action, and also Neptune stationing retrograde and a conjunction between the Sun and Mercury, which Mercury is in retrograde, so that is known as a combustion. So lots to dive into. Also, just be aware that this minor grand trine between the three outermost planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, is going to be coming into its most perfect alignment over the next couple of weeks. And so this was something that we did talk about. It was 7-8 months ago, last fall, this minor grand trine, which is two sextiles and a trine. It's known as a very supportive aspect in astrology and is very benevolent and can bring a lot of ease, balance, harmony, and support. It's also quite rare because it is happening between the outer planets, which move very slowly. They don't always come into perfect alignment, just two planets, and that we have the three of them in this aspect together is quite rare. In fact, it's thousands of years when this happened before in history. And so it's something that astrologers, are very keen to look at and are saying that's why July of 2026 seems to be such an important, like a flagship month. And that makes 2026 a really important year to focus on and create intentions around and to be aligning with this energy that's available. It's very benevolent and bringing a lot of support. So this is very powerful right now. It's something that could change the structures of greater society because it's these outer planets and they deal with greater society. Could be a very interesting time where some things fall into place, some balance comes in, some harmony, some support. So let's get into the weekly report here. So on July 7th, the moon is in Aries and the sun is in Cancer currently, and Mercury is doing the retrograde activity in Cancer. Other than that, every other planet is in a fire or an air sign. So it's like a hot, fiery, it's a time of movement, and this air brings in a lot of movement, and the fire brings in a lot of expression and passion. So these two elements together, fire, air, they are the two masculine elements. So just know that it is a very, very expressive, changeable masculine time. It's very outward because fire and air signs are usually more outward. So that's how we come into this week, and Venus is going to move into a new sign this week, so we will see a little bit of the change of the energy, but it is really fiery and it is really blowing around out there. So Neptune stationing retrograde on the 7th. This is happening at 4 degrees 25 minutes of Aries, and Neptune is the planet of hopes, dreams, and desires. This is also the planet that's about spirituality and our connection to source energy. And when a planet stations retrograde, it means that in the sky, we can see that it actually stops moving through the ecliptic and it will sit still for a little while, station, and then start moving backwards, and it covers old ground. So we tend to go back and reorganize things, redo things. In terms of Neptune, this is going to be going back and looking at our dreams, hopes, and desires, our connection to source, how we're working within realms of our emotions, because Neptune is a very emotional planet where it is very sensitive. So this is a time where we could see, because it's retrograde, we could see this as an internal type of focus, and where we're kind of sensitive inside. We're feeling a lot of emotions and emotional energy building inside. But Neptune is also the planet of muddiness and of confusion, delusion. It's the planet of addiction and obsession. And so we could also see these types of internal vibes where we're a little confused. Things are flying around. We have a lot of internal dialogue, but that it's getting muddied a little bit. So working through this as it moves along, because this outer planet, Neptune, it takes a while to do its retrograde cycle. We are in it now for many months. And so at the time when a planet stations, you feel it really strongly. So that is what we're feeling this week. Strong, intense, sensitive, emotional energies, really pushing for these dreams that we have, these ideas that we would like to see turn into a fruit in our life. And on July 8th, the moon moves in to Taurus. And this is basically the only movement that we see on the 8th. And so it's just more of this Neptune retrograde. We're going to be focusing on this internal dialogue. With the moon moving into Taurus, though, we do get some exit of some of that fiery energy and an entrance of some grounded Earth Taurus energy. And this is a really good time. We can slow things down and take our time a little bit, not feel like we have to be forcing ourselves to move in any direction, with any speed that doesn't work for us right now. And that takes us to July 9th. And this is where the week starts to get a little bit exciting and we start to see some more movement. The very first thing in the morning is Venus moving into Virgo, another earth sign. So we have a very different energy as we wake up on the 9th, and it gets more stabilized. We get that grounded focus where we want to be a little more realistic about what we have available to us, what our resources look like, and our connection, to the actual earth comes out. We tend to focus on our plants and our gardens and our actual time outside with nature. So with Venus moving into an earth sign, Venus is the planet of relationships and of love and money, of sensuality, and of the pleasurable areas of life. Venus moves into Virgo and becomes a much more practical Venus. She is the feminine energy in the chart, and there is an aspect to her where she becomes of service to others in Virgo, because Virgo is the sign of service. It's our service to others. It's how we do our day-to-day routine. And it's also about health in a really big way. So our relationships, our areas of our life, about our heart space and how we love and how we find value in things, where we find pleasure in life, gets grounded. And we tend to become better planners. When there's some Virgo energy, we make a to-do list. We can really get some things done. Now, Virgo is a Mercury-ruled sign. And so when Venus moves into Virgo, she is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is deep in retrograde activity in the sign of Cancer. And Cancer is a more private type of space. Likes to bring things in a little bit. It's not the outward energy that is available with the fire and air signs. Cancer is a water sign and likes to focus on the internal a little more, the emotions, and it's also about nurturing. The water signs are very feminine, and it is a place where we focus more on the intimate areas of life. So Venus is, when moving through Virgo, is going to be under the influence of this Mercury, and Mercury in retrograde is going back and taking care of some old business. So Venus getting more grounded and more rational and realistic, becoming a little more heady in Virgo. And then later in the day on the 9th, we get the trine to Chiron, because Chiron is at 0 degrees of Taurus. This is where we get supported healing in terms of our health around love and money and relationships and all things Venus. So that's very supportive. There is a beautiful healing aspect on the evening of the 9th. And then when we wake up on the 10th, Venus is making a conjunction with the South Node in Virgo. And the South Node is about areas of our life that we need to walk away from. It's about purging, and it's about detox. And that's another Virgo thing too, is about cleaning, detoxing, and purging. Getting releasing all that's not serving. And so the day of the 10th is a big day of release. And the nodes are very destined, fated. They carry along with it a permanent change to the future. So whatever is kind of deleted from our lives later this week, it is a fated cosmic correction. It's a course correction, and it is our destiny. Also on the 10th, there is more fated activity. It makes Friday the 10th a very fated day, very destined, where Chiron is also interacting with the lunar nodes. And this is a trine and a sextile, which is another supported aspect. It brings ease and balance and harmony to areas of our life that Chiron deals with. And those are our wounds. Chiron is the wounded healer and would like us to ultimately master those wounds. So there is something supportive and helpful that comes in around our health, both on the 9th and the 10th. And then the moon moves in to Gemini, switching the mood around a little bit on the evening of the 10th. And once again, some more activity with the nodes, a T-square with the lunar nodes of destiny. So, wow, such a fated day on the 10th. And then as we move to the 11th, it's really just a lunar day. The moon is conjunct with Mars that day. So that is maybe a day to take action. It's a day for activity and exercise and expression and just pulling the trigger on something. We also have a sextile with Saturn that day. So it's like some responsible action taken. And then on the 12th of July, another mood change as the moon moves into Cancer. And the Cancer, again, is about, the energy of Cancer is about intimate places, the places of our life that are a little more hidden, that are a little more just private, because we require more safety and security with that Cancer energy. But a unique aspect happening on the 12th, where Mercury is retrograding back through Cancer, and the Sun is moving in a forward position through Cancer. So these two are going to come together, and it's known as a combustion when the Sun moves over a slow-moving retrograding Mercury. And this happens between 20 and 21 degrees of Cancer. And this is an interesting area because Cancer's had a lot of activity recently because Jupiter just finished a year of being in Cancer, and Jupiter expands all of the energies that it interacts with. So Jupiter was just in Cancer, making the home and the family a big time highlight in our life, and pulling the energies back into Cancer. And so Jupiter also did a retrograde there, and it was right here over this 20 to 21 degree mark. So there's been a process going on with you, Cancer, and in the Cancer areas of our life. And so an important place to continue to look at 21 degrees, 20 to 21 of Cancer, see what house that's in, what planets or points you have there, because we have a big spotlight moment taking place on the 12th where the Sun combusts with Mercury retrograde, and we have big information coming to light. There is something that will be shown, something said, something thought, an idea shared that is going to be kind of a breakthrough. It's going to be a big breakthrough in terms of this Mercury retrograde, the Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, and the work that we've been doing throughout this Cancer season. So very, very important to understand that this is kind of a closing out, really, of some of this hardcore Cancer work we've been doing. So looking for the signs, looking for the messages. Mercury, when goes into retrograde, is known to be the god that is going and speaking to the gods of the underworld and bringing the messages back. So it's deep, dark messages, things that we need to know, though, things that need to come to light and need to have that brilliance brought into that area. And then on the 13th, we have Venus making direct contact with the minor grand trine, with the outer planets, and also in a finger of God aspect. And Venus just moved into Virgo, and she's a more grounded energy here, so more rational, more realistic. This is not the Venus that was just in Leo. Okay, Venus in Leo is like big and is expressive and grabbing the attention of others and living in the drama a little bit and in the spotlight. And now in Virgo, she's coming to be of service a little bit more to herself and others, and to the areas of her life that need to be cleansed, purged, and detoxed. And coming into aspect with the minor grand trine is just a very supportive energy. Okay, this is where our relationships, our love and money go through big transformations, go through some really big moments. And the square with Uranus takes place first. This is a building block, okay? This is earth and air, and they don't work together too well, but it is just going to be a building block and an awakening moment because we're dealing with Uranus. So that comes first on the 13th, and then we get into this finger of God aspect with Neptune and Pluto. And this is where Venus has made two inconjuncts here, and those are 5 signs apart, and that's about making adjustments. And the finger of God aspect is like what it sounds. It's where something very interesting happens, right? It is like seemingly an out of control, something that comes from above, from this energy that exists around us, this source energy, and something really big happens for us in terms of our relationships. So this is something to pay attention to. It's a very important week for our relationships and for our financial health, and for our hopes and dreams and desires, as Neptune is stationing retrograde. So more to come, as always, in terms of the astrology. As above, so below. We are only reflecting the energies that are coming from above. So use it wisely. It's a very beautiful time, July 2026. And I know you're going to do great. I really appreciate you tuning in here to the Cosmic Community Astrology with your galactic ambassador, Stacey Dredd. And I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll be talking again very soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.